Chu is the best Ana player in the world, and it's not even a close competition. Crazy Raccoon are known for excelling at Ana compositions, and in their grand finals match against Zeta Division, Chu was so dominant that Zeta felt the need to straight up ban Ana on one of the maps. Today, we'll be looking at some of Chu's best plays from the series, and make sure to stay until the end because the final fight is absolutely insane. The match starts on Ilios, Crazy Raccoon's pick. Even in a meta dominated by Hazard, Crazy Raccoons stick with their ball composition that we've seen in the past, while Zeta Division are on a Hazard composition. For some reason, Crazy Raccoon are running double hit scan with Heesang running Sojourn, which is honestly really strange, but they swamp up that quickly, so let's not worry about that for now and focus on Chu. Chu's opening rollout on the first round of map 1 is simple yet effective, climbing up into the top right high ground and looking for a nade. He pokes with a few shots on Violet, then uses a lineup to nade the doorway, which catches 2 players on Zeta. Unfortunately, Crazy Raccoon didn't follow up on this though, partially because, okay, I'm gonna be honest here. This DPS combo is terrible. We are not cooking with this one, just go Tracer or Genji. Chu drops off the high ground, getting ready for Crazy Raccoon's next engage. Chu is a very active Ana player who isn't afraid to run into the fight, rather than sitting back the whole time. When Jumpin goes for a slam, Chu rotates into the left side and lands a nade on Finn, who was distracted. The timing is important. Chu's best window to push is when Zeta are focused on shooting Junbin on ball. Junbin and Chorong die on their dive, but Chu is able to land another nade in the hallway on Pelican before leaving and resetting safely. This was a great fight from Chu, but Crazy Raccoon just didn't have the follow-up necessary. Heesang makes the swap over to Genji, so at least he realized Sojourn was not it. Later on in this round, we can see how dynamic Chu's positioning can be. He constantly looks to maximize his ult charge gain. The more nanos you build, the more fights you can potentially win. Here, Crazy Raccoon go for an earlier hit so Chu can poke a bit before leaving. Crazy Raccoon end up taking this round 100-56, and so far, the ball composition is working well. The second round, funny enough, is well, and this is where Raccoons struggle a bit, but Chu makes one particularly insane play. Chu finds the first kill in this fight, taking Pelican out of the sky. Chu then saves Heesang, who had fallen particularly low, before kiting away when Zeta used both of their support ultimates, Nano and Rally. Crazy Raccoon are down 2, but it isn't over just yet. Alfie chases Chu, and so Chu forces his recall and then finishes him with a nade. Then, with only 3 HP remaining, turns to sleep Bernard on Hazard. Chu had bought enough time and acted as enough of a distraction for Junbin and Heesang to turn the fight over on point, granting Crazy Raccoon the fight win. Zeta Division won this round 100-40, bringing this map to a third and final round. The final round takes place on Lighthouse, and Ana has a nice little position she can play from on the high ground at the start of each fight. During the first fight, Chu plays patiently and must keep Bernard's Hazard in mind. Hazard can, at any point, easily climb the wall and instantly kill Chu, so when Bernard approaches Chu's location, Chu rotates away, dropping off the high ground. Chu then lands asleep on Bernard and then rotates away from him again, trying to keep as far away from the Hazard as possible. Bernard tries to slash Chu, but Chu does not care, he just rotates away, he's really good at this rotating thing. Once Bernard switches his focus back onto the point, Chu advances and helps Crazy Raccoon clean things up. Chu's dynamic rotations prevented Bernard from closing the distance and potentially obtaining a kill, and this helped Crazy Raccoon win this fight. Right afterwards, we see Crazy Raccoon go for a very aggressive hit near Zeta's spawn, and Chorong actually helps speed Chu into the fight. Crazy Raccoon need to bring Chu with them if they take aggressive fights like this, otherwise they'd be taking a 4v5. Chu keeps on carrying, starting the next fight with a nano on Heesang. Thank you, Heesang. And then throwing the anti down onto Violet, who responds with his rally and is immediately flung off the map by Junbin. This play is funnier when you think about the fact that Violet is only rallying here because of the anti. At this point, my channel is a Violet death reel. How does this keep happening?
위에서 삼각탄. 자, 이렇게 뒷라인 묶어도 거점으로 가서 거점 잡으면 또 끝이거든요. 약간 허리가 끊긴 느낌이 결국 준비가 바이올렛을 보냅니다.
The next fight, Bernard moves up onto the high ground but forgets that Chu is there. How? I have no idea. But this provides the perfect opportunity for Chu to hit a sneaky sleep on him from behind and then nade him. This allows Heesang to hit full stickies and then beam Bernard to death. Thank you, Heesang. Chorong then hits the off-map victory beat, and with that, Crazy Raccoon take Ilios. The second map is Numbani, and the first play we'll look at takes place on Crazy Raccoon's second point defense. Shu has Nano available, and Crazy Raccoon look to combine their Nano and Pharah barrage. Shu swings the corner, and Nano's Hisang, who rushes in and uses the barrage. Thank you, Hisang. Shu holds the nade until the last possible second, which also keeps Max from dying, who had gotten antied earlier on in the fight. Now this is not a good play. It's just a moment that honestly belongs in a Tomathan video. Crazy Raccoon spent too much time in the kitchen. The plan is to send Chorong's Brig on a flank with Rally, while Lip throws a Bob from main to pinch. And unfortunately, the Bob gets stuck in an awkward spot. Lip missed, so Chorong is left all alone. Max tries to dive in to save him, but ends up dying himself. But this does allow Chorong to escape though, and for some reason, Shu thinks that this is winnable, and he nanos Chorong, who dies before the nano even reaches him. This is a tragic nanojax. After that, Shu locks in. First, he seals Bernard's fate with a nade, with Lip finishing the kill. Now Shu needs to poke for his next nano, and he does not miss shots. After that, Shu rotates off onto the high ground looking for a nade, and Pelican had also rotated off onto the high ground, so a 1v1 ensues. Shu nades the ground and then hits the frame-perfect shot on Pelican, right after his deflect finishes and before he can dash. Eventually, Bernard hunts Shu down, but in a relatively short period of time, Shu has nearly built another nano.
있는 거예요. 그것도 그렇고 서로 해저드가 마치 1벤 상황이 이루어진다고 했었을 때 화력 못 번.
He uses this nano during Crazy Raccoon's final fight on defense. Shu nanos Max as soon as he walks out, then antis Pelican and Bernard. Max finishes Pelican, and Shu finishes Bernard. Shu lands another nade on Flora, and Lip finishes the kill. These nades and the nano from Shu single-handedly prevented Zeta Division from capping third.
하지만 펠리칸의 용감이 있습니다. 근데 나도 해저드로 견뎌요. 근데 위도 킬 안 나오면 결국 킬이. 얼마나 버틸 수 있나요? 근데 맥스가 펠리칸 잡았고. 하나 더. 희상. 아 근데 1벤. 희상. 하나 더. 희상. 잡아야 돼요. 희상. 자 그래도 더블 리비. 다 잡았어요. 다 잡았습니다. 3점 허용하지 않습니다. 이게 희상 선수가 물론 킬은 못 냈지만 그 위도우의 존재감에
Crazy Raccoon capture the first point on their attack without any issues, but to start the second point, Shu is forced to babysit the Raccoons after Hisang gets picked off early. No thank you, Hisang. After Hisang dies, Shu kites back around the corner and uses a nade that hits Bernard, preventing Zeta from advancing. Shu works to keep Max up, then uses his nano on Hisang, who is returned with Blade, and then he gets slept by Finn. Really, Hisang? Zeta used their own nano on Bernard, and he dives in trying to take Lip out of the fight. Shu keeps him alive, and although Lip unintentionally blocks his nade, Shu still manages to heal Chorong after Bernard dies. Max advances with a massive root, catching the remainder of Zeta, who were trying to escape, and Crazy Raccoon take this fight. Crazy Raccoon only need to win one more fight to take the checkpoint. Shu takes an angle up on the high ground, an optimal setup to hit a nade. Bernard approaches from the high ground, but Shu casually sleeps him mid-air and then hits him with a nade. Violet does use Suzu to cleanse the ante, but with the orbital in place for Crazy Raccoon, the fight is already over. At the end, Shu lands a nade on Pelican, who falls shortly afterwards, and then Shu's next nade lands on Bernard, and this secures the map for Crazy Raccoon. Zeta Division have had enough of Shu's Ana and ban her going into the next map, Shimbali. Unfortunately for Zeta, they get full held anyways on first point.
밟는데 급급한 제타가 이거 버틸 수 있을지. 그리고 화물의 가스공학이 뒤에 여기 깔려 있고요. 완방이에요. 뒤에서 칩니다. 거기에 초롱의 소리방벽과 이상의 용검도 이제 준비가 거의 다 됐죠. 예, 어쩔 수 없이 시간이 없다 보니까 전부 다 앞을 보고 달려서 라쿤이 현명하게 뒤돌아서 추가 시간 마무리. 1라운드 끝. 완막.
Crazy Raccoon roll on their attack as well, winning the first fight easily, and then taking the second fight, which was a bit longer. Zeta Division just didn't have an answer, and Crazy Raccoon solidified themselves as the strongest hazard team.
이게 약간 공격! 아니 이걸 맥스 몰아가려나? 초롱이 너무 잘 밀었어요. 어딜 가느냐 하면서 우클릭으로
노이력을 시켰습니다.
네, 탱커도 없고 힐러들 궁극기도 없고.
야, 바이올렛 잡혔어요.
바이올렛 선수 그냥 삐찍 삐찍 삐찍죠.
비트!
비트 있고 포차이
전진!
전진하겠다.
제거! 화물! 안착 직전! 화물! 안착! 스코어 3대0 크레이지 라쿤!
At this point, Crazy Raccoon are so confident that they decide to mess with Zeta Division by running a straight-up troll composition. No, this composition isn't good. At all. They are just trying to assert their dominance and take the 4-0 win with style. And of course, the Raccoons lose the first fight, so Shu kites back and awaits his team's return. He lands long-range sleep on Flora, and this forces Bernard's shout, which was used to assure Flora would survive. Shu's nade misses, but when Finn drops the orbital ray, Shu hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots in a row to kill Finn through the orbital healing. Pelican takes Shu out afterwards, but the kill was good and opened up the opportunity for Crazy Raccoon to win the fight. Later on in this map, Crazy Raccoon are once again losing, and Junbin has finally swapped off of Doomfist onto Junker Queen, not wanting to completely throw the map away. Shu opens this fight with a key pick on Finn, which removes Zeta's orbital ray from this fight. Zeta advanced to try and trade, but Shu hits a 3-man anti and completely shuts them down. This wins the fight for Crazy Raccoon, but now they need to come back from a 50-meter deficit to win the map.
이거는 좀 변수기를 할 수 있겠는데 힐백!
이거는
안 눌러야죠. 예.
근데 저는 이제부터 구도가 바뀔 수도 있다고 생각해요. 왜냐면 이전에는 사실 둠피 겐지 둘이 들어가서 퀸 캐서디에게 막히는 구도였다면
네.
Shu starts this insane sequence by walking up the stairs and nading Zeta's backline, just as they use their speed ring, which prevents Zeta from advancing. Shu drops down and waits underneath the bridge, and then waits a while for an opening. He takes the stairs once again to look for a flank nade, but Violet narrowly dodges it, bashing away. Crazy Raccoon win this fight off of the rampage from Junbin, and Shu finishes the job, killing Flora. There is no more room for error, a minute remains, and Crazy Raccoon need to win this fight to take the lead. Zeta Division have a massive ultimate advantage with Orbital Ray, Rampage, and Overclock. On paper, this is, by default, a loss for Crazy Raccoon, but Shu doesn't care. Shu calls for Chorong to join him on a flank for the speed. Shu waits a moment, then he makes the call and Chorong hits the amp. Shu swings around the flank at the exact right moment and antis Violet and Flora. Kisang dives in and Shu nanos him. Chorong finishes Violet and Shu takes Flora. Pelican attempts to punish Shu, but Shu lands the sleep and takes Pelican's life as well. Zeta wasted their Rampage and Overclock that fight, and Crazy Raccoon take the lead. Zeta Division's fate is practically sealed. Even if they win this fight with their Orbital Ray, they'd have to win several more consecutive fights in overtime.
이게 로봇을 그 방 안에 사륙일 때 이미 라쿠 본드가 밀면서 이미 저 코너는 한참 전에 돌았어야 됐는데
직선 구간까지는 이미 들어갔어야 됐다.
이러면 베르나르와 플로라 궁 있는데 지금 라쿠는 궁만 쓰 이거 재우지 않나?
그래서 슈가 지금 동선 변수 보자!
재우지
이걸 또 슈가!
재웠어요!
진짜 말도 안 되는 변수 차출! 야, 이게 진짜 유일한 플랜이었는데 어제도 그렇고 오늘도 유일한 플랜을 성공시켜요!
야, 너무 잘 알아요. 본인이 캐리해야 될 때를 너무 잘 알아요.
초록
떨어지면 안 돼서 립을 막을 수가 없어요. 화물이 떨어지면 안 돼가지고.
자, 이거 어떻게 돼요?
리프리디.
화물에 누가? 베르나르!
아, 베르나르 붙어야 되는데 붙을 수 없어요.
체력이 없어요! 안 되네요. 이러면 끝났죠. 여기서 경기 끝!
After a disappointing performance in Stockholm, Crazy Raccoon have reasserted themselves as the best in the world. This also shows that the meta greatly affects the strength of teams. Crazy Raccoon are stronger in dive-oriented metas, while Falcons, the winner of Stockholm, are stronger in brawl-oriented metas. Shu's Ana in particular is impressive on Crazy Raccoon. He's honestly my favorite support player, and I'm looking forward to OWCS Korea this year. I hope you enjoyed this new format. It's definitely different, so let me know if you want to see more like this. I'll be streaming the opening weekend of OWCS on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this week, so make sure to tune into that as well. Also, check out my second channel. In this video, I look at how a team in China is using Genji and Lucio to flank and control space, and I even interview the coach. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.